Hello and welcome to this session. Today, we will be doing an exercise on auxiliary verbs. Well, yes, we are doing lots of exercises on verbs, but I guess you understand that this is also critical to moving forward. Some of these exercises might be appearing very elementary, but trust me, they are really going to come in very handy when you speak English. And there are certain concepts which are pretty basal in nature, quite fundamental in nature. They also can cause confusions. That is why these exercises, which have been scientifically designed for you, are really going to hold you in good stead if you practice them. But remember, practicing essential grammar alone will not help. You will have to practice the three primal methods. Those three primal methods, sans the essential grammar part, will do. But essential English grammar, sans the primal methods, no, that's not going to work out. So essential grammar is just one of the many things that we are doing. Of course, of those many things, that this happens to be the most important thing. That I agree. But this does not compare with the primal methods that we have discussed as a part of this training program. So before we do the exercises on auxiliary verbs, we'll be saying hello to our participants. But let me first set out the agenda for the day. We'll say hello. All the hellos will happen first. Thereafter, we'll have these exercises on auxiliary verbs. And then, of course, we'll have 2 spontaneous speech demonstrations. So those of you who are following this course as a series of YouTube videos, kindly make sure that you are also regularly practicing the primal methods. If you don't have a coterie of your own, make a coterie with your friends, maybe a coterie with your cousins, but do make a coterie where you can talk. As for the subjects on which you require to talk, well, you can choose a subject. And if you want me to give you the subject, you will be finding plenty of such subjects appearing in the description part of the subsequent videos. I have put some spontaneous speech topics earlier. I'll be giving other spontaneous speech topics subsequently. And of course, there will be many more. If you just request me to give you those topics, just write in the comment section what would you like to practice. Coterie, you want the subjects for coterie talk, or you want the topics for spontaneous speech, and I shall be so honored to serve you. All right, now let's say hello to our learned participants. Here we go. All right, Sanjay, good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Ah, fantastico. I have never been better before. How are you?
So I'm also never been better before.
Really? You don't sound like that. You must say, I have never been better before.
I have never been better before.
No, 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 no. This is play acting. Come on. Come
I
on.
have never been better before.
Better. You can do better, sire. Go ahead. Go ahead, Sanjay. Say, I have never been better before. Spread your arms, spread your hands like this and say
I
it.
have never been better before.
That sounds better. But what have you been doing all these days? Long time no see. Have you been so better off? Have you been feeling so good that you are flying in the sky or something, that you didn't attend the classes?
So actually,
I want you to be happy within the limits of Earth, okay? I don't want you to be happy. I don't want you to be so happy so that you actually fly into the atmosphere of planet Jupiter. That's going to be very difficult for me. I can't bring you back. So what have you been doing?
actually, थोड़ा सा some official and was actually I'm suffering from cervical migraine. So
Oh,
don't
must
have a feeling.
must take good care of yourself,
Yes, sir.
Sanjay. Please do, right? But I'm so happy to see you back. Great to see you back in the class. Take good care of your health. Health is primary. Rest of the things follow. I did tell you,
Oh,
shariram adyang dharma khalu sadhanam. Always remember that. Okay?
okay.
Right. Okay, good evening, Lekha.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Oh, great, victorious. As handsome as Richard Gere, as intelligent as Ramanujan, as melodious as Kishore Kumar, as great a sportsperson as, say, Vishwanathan Anand, and as great a writer as Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. And that makes me the happiest person on earth. And so I have never been better before. And how are you?
I'm also great, sir, and I am as beautiful as Shraddha Kapoor and such a great cook as Sanjeev Kapoor and such a punctual person as as my secretary is. And I have never been better before, and that makes me the happiest person of the world.
Wonderful, wonderful. That is great. I must applaud you on that. It's so wonderfully spoken. Great. Lovely. Welcome, welcome again, Lekha. Thank you for finding time out.
Thank you,
Oh,
sir.
okay, great. Good evening, Nitesh.
Good evening, sir. How are you, sir?
Oh, fantastic. Absolutely great. As handsome as Devanand, as intelligent as Magnus Carlsen, as great a sportsperson as Virat Kohli, as brilliant a person as Madame Curie, as great a mathematician as Gauss, and of course, as knowledgeable as one of the greats I know called Nitesh Prasad, and that makes me the happiest person on earth. And I have never been better before. How are you, my dear?
I am really happy and really fantastic today. The day was really great, and I got to make connections with a lot of good people today, and I think I had never been better before.
Okay, will do. I hope you have noted the point that with all the greats, I've included your name as well. I'm such a huge admirer of yours. Okay, all
Thank you
right.
so much, sir.
I did say as knowledgeable as Nitesh Prasad. I hope you have
You are
noted that.
much, you are much more knowledgeable than me, sir.
I beg to disagree, my dear. You are great. All right. Good evening, Kirti.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
So, how are you?
I have never been better before, sir, because although there are so many stones like hardships in my life, but I am very happy and I am flowing like a fresh rivulet to cut the stones and to make my path towards and I'm just going towards I don't know what's my destination, but I was happy. I'm happy. With no aim, no objective. I don't know, but
Fan-
I'm happy.
Fantastic. Fantastic. That sounds great. Welcome, Kirti. I'm so happy. You should have asked me how I am, but you didn't ask that question. But doesn't never mind. I hope that I
Sir,
assume.
how are you, sir? How are you, sir?
Okay, how am I? All right. I'm as smart as Roger Moore, as melodious as, say, as Don McLean, as beautiful a lyricist as, say, Neeraj, and as spirited as, say, a sportsperson such as Sunil Gavaskar. And I have the nerves of a solid composed person. And that makes me the happiest person on earth. So I have never been better before. Thank you for asking. Okay,
Fantastic and great.
moving on. Pallavi, how are you? Good evening.
Good evening, sir. I'm good. I have never been better before. How are you, sir?
Okay, let me answer your question first, and then I'll begin to pester you because your answer hasn't satisfied me in the least. Okay, I'll tell you now. I am as good looking as Lekha and Manisha and Nitesh and Kirti and as Pallavi and as Sanjay and as Seema. As brilliant as all these minds put together, as spirited as a girl called Pallavi, and as brilliant as somebody resplendent with wisdom such as Manisha. And that makes me the happiest person on earth. So I have never been better before, my dear. How are you?
Yes, sir. I have never been better before. I have,
You have never been
but
better.
I have no so much qualities like you.
That doesn't sound convincing. Come up with something better.
Sir, I am really very happy today because I'm seeing you, intelligent person like you, and after seeing you, I also became like intelligent, influencing. So it's all because of you that I'm beautiful and intelligent. So yes, because of that, I'm happy and I have never been better before.
I'll grant it to you because you at least have followed the principles and you have finally acknowledged that you are pretty and you are intelligent. Good. Good. I'll take that. I'll grant that to you, but I'll want better stuff to come, right? I'll want you to give me upmas, the comparisons. The comparisons will have to come just the way comparisons have been given by Lekha and myself, right? So you have to do that as well. Okay, moving on. But I'm very happy. I'm very happy to hear that you call yourself beautiful and intelligent. I'm so happy. Right, because you are very
So like
unassuming.
you.
Well, okay, I don't mind compliments. Thank you so much. All right, moving on. Manisha, good evening, and how are you?
Good evening, sir. I'm amazing. I have never been better before. How are you?
Oh, I'm amazing too, and I have never been better before. What do you expect a person to be like when he's the handsomest, most intelligent, and the strongest, and the most accomplished person on earth? That person will always be the happiest person, right? So, see, look at me. Look at me. Have you seen somebody like me? So, I'm the happiest soul on earth, and I've never been better before. Now, please modify your answer. You spoke well, but now you have to match it up with what I said. Go ahead. How are you?
Okay. Sir, I was having headache before the class, but right now, after hearing everyone's introduction, especially yours, Lekha's, Pallavi, Kirti, Nitesh, and Sanjay, I'm literally very happy, honestly. And if you say so, I can say that I'm as beautiful as my mother because honestly, I consider her the most beautiful girl in the world, honestly. And I want to be as much talented as you,
Oh,
and I am attending your class. So this makes me the happiest person in the world today and right now.
that's very sweet of you, Manisha, that you give me so much of respect and you you uh, I mean use such kind words for me. Thank you so much. I'm not so sure if I'm worthy of those beautiful expressions, but I'm really honored that you say that, and I completely respect your feelings. Yes, you will certainly be as intelligent as me, at least. Maybe I mean much more than I, but certainly you are a great, great, great girl. I tell you, Manisha. Uh, to speak the truth, you are so composed and so mature at such a tender age. Right now, you're a kid, and yet you are so mature, so composed, so intelligent, and so down to earth. And Manisha, you certainly are a genius. Each one of you is, but since I'm talking to you, I'm particularly mentioning you. Uh, I have so much of respect for you, Manisha. Right? Moving on. All right.
So,
Isha. Yes, yes, Manisha.
may I say something?
Certainly, certainly. Go ahead.
Okay. So you said that you are doubtful that whether you deserve all these praises or not. Please trust me that you deserve each and every bit of the praise that you get. And please, and as you say that the I know I can speak so many things. And in yesterday's poetry also, Seema, Isha, and we were discussing about you. And
Oh,
honestly, we are so humble. We are so blessed to have you. And we were discussing that how humble you are. So I know that I cannot explain this completely. So as you say that best thing should be left unsaid. So that's it. And yes, thank you so much for your appreciation and words. And I would also like to mention that I'm learning how to be grounded and how to stay humble from you and from each and every other participant that is attending, who is attending all these classes. So thank you, sir, and thank you everyone who is there.
thank you,
Thank you so
Manisha.
much.
Thank you again, Manisha. Very kind words, those are. Thank you so much. You really, those, to tell you the truth, genuine praises please anyone. And since you people come up with some genuine praises, it really pleases me. Those are musical words to my ears. But I'm trying to improve every moment, right? Thank you so much for your kind words again, Manisha. Okay, moving on. Isha, good evening. Isha, good evening.
Good
There
evening.
comes the beaming smile. Okay, yes.
I'm feeling little bit headache, but I
Oh, headache?
after listening everyone's introduction, I'm feeling so happy.
You boys and girls are youngsters. You're kiddos still. You're all kiddos, right? And being kiddos, you ought not have these ailments. Why should you be having these ailments? Take good care of your health, okay? Sleep well. Please sleep well. Eat good food. Follow a regimen. Follow a regimen of work. Follow a regimen of studying. Follow a regimen of entertainment. And follow a regimen for exercises. It's not that difficult. And the regimen that you make for yourself, or the combination of the regimens that you make for yourself, must also have a proper time allocated for practice of English, and also for journaling if possible. And do not forget, you have to read one book a week. I keep telling you, one book a week is the minimum, right? By the time
Yes,
you
sir.
become a bookworm like me, you probably won't even be satisfied with, well, I won't tell you how many books I read. Otherwise, probably you will think of it as boastful, but you must read at least one book, right? I just
Yes,
keep
sir. I'm
reading like that.
trying.
You must. You're a bright girl, intelligent girl. You must definitely try it. So now, but you haven't told me how you are. How are you?
I'm fantastic, splendid, glorious, and I'm the best. And I have never been better before.
Good, but you can do better.
I am not comparing myself with others because I know I am the best.
Wow, wow. Well said, well said, well said. They should compare themselves with you, right? Okay, now I grant it to you. Now I grant it to you.
Sir,
Great,
how
great.
are you?
Well, I'm not the bestest person like you. So I'll again repeat what I said. Looks wise, Devanand. Voice wise, Kishore Kumar. Spirituality wise, say Shri, or no. This I cannot say. I'm sorry. What was I about to say? Spirituality wise, like any other spiritual aspirant. Okay. And science wise, say Sir Richard Dawkins, I dare say. Okay. And intelligence wise, a girl called Isha. Okay. So
You
that's
have all the quality, and I wanted to be like yours. So I don't need to
so there is
everyone's name.
there is mutual admiration, right? Thank you so much, Isha. So all these qualities make me the happiest person on earth, right? Except for that spiritual part. You cut that out because I cannot compare myself. I don't know how many births, how many lifetimes will I have to live in order to be someone like Sri Aurobindo. And my greatest of regards to Ma and Sri Aurobindo, to Sister Nivedita and Swami Vivekananda. Great souls, great souls. I mean, the fact that we have had such souls walk India, walk Bharat, right, is a huge reason for us to be very proud of, right? We have had souls like Jiddu Krishnamurti, we've had Ramana Maharishi, great people, great people. Okay, so now I move on to our next learned participant, Seema. Seema, Good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Resplendent as always. At the pinnacle of my literary glory. Great with physics, great with history, great with English, great with Hindi, great with Sanskrit, great with what not, you ask me. And I'm as great a teacher as a girl called Seema, and that makes me the happiest person on earth. And that also makes this moment the best moment of my life. So I can easily say I have never been better before. And how are you, Seema?
Sir, I am also so wonderful, satisfied, and sensitive person on the earth. And I also want to follow the path of your serving others. I just want to learn
How
these
sweet of
kind
you.
of traits from you and other ones as well. Just I want to better myself. That's why I'm feeling like this. That I have just the kind of great opportunity to be here to learn from everybody in the group and my surrounding as well. And that's why I have never been better.
Thank you so much, Seema. Very kind words on your part. I really admire you and feel very humbled and honored when you show so much of respect, when you give me so much of respect. Thank you again. It's always a pleasure to have you on board. And thank you again for finding time out for us. And it's such a pleasure to be working with each one of you. So today we'll be doing auxiliary verbs, right? Auxiliary verbs we have already done, although I didn't speak much about auxiliary verbs when we discussed verbs. What are auxiliary verbs? Auxiliary verbs are helping verbs. If you allow me to use this kind of this expression, they help the main verb in a sentence. For example, if I say she is quiet today, right? Or say she is running today. She is running today. Now, running is the main verb because it is giving you the actual action of what the girl is doing. The girl is running. She is running. But is telling us, or at least helping us to understand what kind of action she is performing, right? So is here becomes the auxiliary verb. Likewise, say something like, say, Madhu has been dancing since morning. Madhu has been dancing since morning. Now, in this sentence, dancing happens to be the main verb. It is telling us what the real action is, what kind of an action Madhu is involved in. But we cannot just say Madhu dancing since morning. That will make no sense. In order for the main verb to tell us what the real action is, it is being supported by the auxiliary verbs has been. She, Madhu, has been dancing since morning. So here, has been becomes this expression altogether becomes the auxiliary verb. I say something like, say Mohan would be studying at night today. Mohan would be studying at night today. Here the main action is studying. We are being told what is Mohan going to do at night. But we cannot say Mohan studying tonight. We have to use the helping verbs would be, which is telling us in the future, that is in the night that is going to follow, Mohan will be studying. So here, the main verb is studying and would be put together will act as a set of auxiliary verbs, or what you may simply call auxiliary verb, right? One more example, two more examples, in fact, for you. Suppose we say Gopal has been walking in the park every day. Now, what has Gopal been doing? He has been walking in the park. Walking is the main verb, but the auxiliary verbs has been. These two words put together will be called the helping verb. Why the helping verb? Because the helping verb is helping which word? The main verb to convey its meaning to us. Right. So if we say Mohan or if we say Gopal has been walking in the park every day, we know that the main action over here is walking. But in order for walking to convey the sense of walking, we are using a set of words which is has been. So Gopal has been walking in the park every day. So the helping verbs will be has been, and that is why they'll be called the auxiliary verbs. One last example now. It is something like, say, Sunidhi has been writing on her notebook, or let's make it in the past. Sunidhi had been writing on her notebook till yesterday. Right. Now she has purchased a new notebook, which means Sunidhi had been working, had been writing. Writing means main action verb is writing. That is why in order to make writing convey the act of writing, we use the auxiliary verb had been. These are the helping verbs. Today she has purchased a new notebook. Here, purchased is the main verb. Has acts as the auxiliary verbs. Simple. Very simple. Let's move on and do these exercises now. All right, here we go. Just a second, please. Now, before moving on, let me tell you this, that you don't have to remember any of the stuff that I am telling you. Why not? Because when you are speaking in English, you don't need to know the theory. Why am I telling you the theory then? I'm trying to make the theory as simple as possible for you so that it can serve as background information. All this information is not going to be in the active part of your brain when you're speaking. They'll all be working like backdrop information. They are elements of passivity. They'll work as passive knowledge, not active knowledge, right? So please make sure that you do not begin to memorize these rules. You're not supposed to be memorizing these rules. Another thing is, one form of verb can fall into another category or another form of verb, can be another form of verb as well. If there is one verb which is auxiliary verb, does not mean that it cannot serve as some other kind of verb, right? Likewise, if you have an action verb, do not be under the impression that it cannot act as some other kind of verb. You, in fact, do not need to know how many forms of verbs exist. Just know the usage. All you have to do is to practice the exercises. How many exercises? Well, I think you do enough in the class. You don't need anything beyond that, because the main stuff will come from practice. Practice of the primal methods. So here we go. Let's start out with the exercises. All right, Nitesh, you will be identifying the auxiliary or helping verb in each sentence, right? Okay, Nitesh, she has completed her assignment. Identify the auxiliary verb.
Has.
Perfect. Well done. Kirti, they will arrive at noon.
Will is the answer.
Correct. Well done. Manisha, he had already left when I arrived.
Had is the answer.
Perfect. Well done. Lekha, we are going to the concert tonight. Or concert tonight.
R is the answer.
R is the answer. Well done.
R.
Perfect. Perfect. Spot on. Sanjay, I am reading a fascinating book.
I am
I am reading a fascinating book. Just tell me which is the auxiliary verb here.
reading.
No, my dear. Reading is the main verb.
Yeah, I'm reading.
Am. Am is the state of being. Right? Am is the auxiliary or helping verb over here. Never mind. Never mind. All right. Isha, they have been working on this project for weeks.
Have been.
Perfect. Well done. Pallavi, she will be joining us for dinner.
Sir, will be.
Perfect. Well done. Seema, he was studying all night for the exam.
Was, sir.
Perfect. Well done. Nitesh, was is the answer correct? Nitesh, they have never been to that restaurant.
Have is the answer.
Have is the answer. Well done, because it is actually qualifying. It's a difficult one. It's a difficult one, a
Yeah,
little bit
have been.
tricky. Here, been, to my mind, been will act as the main verb here. So,
Yeah.
have will be the auxiliary verb. Absolutely correct. Okay. I was about to say bilkul sateek. Right. Okay. All right. Which would mean spot on. All right. Moving on. Kirti, I will have finished the report by tomorrow.
Will have the answer.
Well done. Well done. Okay. All answers are here. And you'll have the copy. I'm making, having the compilation done of all the exercises so that you have everything in one place. Okay. All right. Exercise 2. Manisha, what do you have to do? And the rest of you who will be following Manisha, complete each sentence by adding a suitable auxiliary verb. Example, have, has, had, will, would, etc. Okay? Any auxiliary verb that fits in will do. There can be more than one answers. So be creative and find your answer. Manisha, they dash been friends for years.
They have been friends for years.
Spot on. Lekha, she dash completed her homework before dinner.
She had completed her homework before dinner.
She had completed her homework before dinner is spot on. All right, moving on. Sanjay, he dash interested. Sorry, he dash always been interested in science.
He will always have been interested in science.
No, I think you know
He
the
has.
answer. Try again. He dash. See, there is been. Thumb rule, or what you can call a grund norm of English is, if there is this word been, B-E-E-N, been, not B-E-I-N-G, being. Do not confuse been and being. Of course, we'll be doing all that stuff subsequently. I'll be telling you a lot about when to use has, when to use have, when to use will have, when to use would have, when to use had been, when to use have been, when to use has been. All this stuff we are going to do later. But
He has
right
always been interested.
now the rule is if you have been, then it necessarily has to have a has or a have or a had. Has, had, or have will have to be there somewhere if you have B-double-E-E-N, been. So,
He has always been.
he has always been interested in science. Well done, Sanjay. All right, Isha, we dash to the beach last summer.
We were to the beach last summer.
Try again. This is a little tricky one.
We had to the beach last summer.
I just said if you have, has, or had, you have to follow it up by been. B-E-E-N, been. So correct your sentence now. What you said is correct. But say it again now. Use the word been and combine what you said with been and then give me the answer.
We had been to the beach last summer.
Perfect. We had been to the beach last summer. Well done, Isha. All right. Shivam, you were not there when I was explaining, but still I believe you will be able to use auxiliary verbs over here. They dash never seen such a beautiful sunset.
They have never seen such a beautiful sunset.
Well done. Spot on. All right, Pallavi. She dash already finished her work.
She had already finished her work.
She had already finished her work. She has already finished her
She
work.
has
Both will
already
do.
finished her
Both
work.
will do.
Yes.
In fact, in many of these questions, both the past and the present forms will do.
Yes.
Present form is has,
Has.
which roughly means, if I say, let me tell you, I'll tell you more about has, have, and had later. Right now, all I can say is when you use I or we, that is the first person, we have to follow it up with have. And if you use a singular third person like she or he, then you have to have, or a name. Say we use something like Seema or Manisha. We'll say Seema has, Manisha has. So a third person, when you're talking about somebody else, we have to have has ahead of it. And when you're talking about yourself, be it singular or be it plural, it has to have. Now, has and have mean that the action that you have taken, you have completed, has just been completed. There is a semblance of something that has just been done. That just been can be anything. That just been can be just a few seconds back. That just been can be a few hours back. That just been can be even a day back. That just been can be even more than a day, depending upon the context. So when I say Manisha has read The Hound of the Baskervilles by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, it means that Manisha probably has just finished the book just a while ago. When was it? Depends upon what I think is recent past, right? When I say or immediate past, recent past is not a good expression to use, immediate past. So it is immediate past that we are referring to when we are using has and have, right? When I say had, Manisha had read The Hound of the Baskervilles by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. This would mean that I'm not talking about immediate past. I'm talking about a past that happened long back. When was that? It depends upon the interpretation of the speaker. There is no definition for when it happened, right? Pallavi had walked on this road. Pallavi did not walk on this road recently for sure. Pallavi did walk this road, but when did she walk on this road? I'm not quite sure, but yes, she did it sometime in the past, which the speaker does not reckon, does not consider as something that happened in the immediate past, right? So that is the impression. That is the only thing that I can tell you right now. When we discuss has, have, and had later, the essential details will be this, but I'll give you more illustrations to make you understand. Please, those of you who have already understand what is has, have, and had, raise your hands like this. Raise your hands. Not a single one. Okay. Okay. What about you? Okay. Sanjay, what about you? You haven't understood?
Yes,
Sanjay,
sir.
you have understood. Okay. Isha and Seema are behind the black veil, so I'll not know whether they have. Okay, there she has understood. Okay, great. Seema, can I see you also? Understood or not?
Yes, sir. Actually, icon नहीं मिल रहा.
You are what? What
Actually,
did you say?
I didn't find the raising hand where it is. So, but I
Okay.
understood.
Okay, you wanted to raise the virtual hand, the digital hand. You cannot even do
Yes,
this,
sir.
huh?
Yes.
So that veil is so important for you that you're willing to send a virtual hand to me, but not the real hand like this. Okay, no problem, Seema. I'm just pulling your leg. Okay, that's just fine. All right. So now, Pallavi, for you the question is fill in this blank with a suitable auxiliary verb, and the question is he dash. Pallavi, did you do the last one?
Yes, sir. I did
Oh,
the
you have
last
done it.
one.
You have already done it. Okay,
Yes, sir.
Isha. Isha, he dash often mentioned his dream of traveling. He dash often mentioned his dream of traveling.
He has often mentioned his dream on traveling.
Yes. So here's one example where we find has, have, or had may not always be followed by been. More often than not, they'll be followed by been, but sometimes they will not be followed by been. Isha is spot on when she says he has often mentioned his dream of traveling. Okay. Seema, we dash never been to that museum.
We, uh, we have never been to that museum
Well done. Well done.
and had maybe.
Yes, both are correct. Well done. Okay, Nitesh, I dash already made lunch.
I have already made lunch.
Oh, he's speaking as though it's a cakewalk for him. And it is a cakewalk for him. I know that, the question, right? All right, moving on. See, I said something in jest, Mr. Presentation. I didn't mock Nitesh. Now, come on, don't be angry. Move ahead. There. I had to give the clarification and only then it moved ahead. Look at him. All right. Create sentences. It is so much in love with Nitesh that I cannot say anything to Nitesh, the presentation, right? The moment I say something to Nitesh, the presentation gets angry. Eh? Why did you say that to him? Now I'll not move forward. So I had to give the clarification and only then the presentation moved forward. Okay. Kirti, you just have to make sentences. Any sentence will do. Use your imaginative mind and frame a sentence with will.
Okay, I will make a picture.
I will make a picture is correct. Well done. Manisha.
And
Manisha, create sentences using the given auxiliary verb and you have to make a sentence with have.
I have been in government service for 9 months.
I have been in government service for 9 months. Perfect. Well done. Lekha, make a sentence with had.
I had had my dinner today.
Perfect. I had my dinner. Well done. All right, Sanjay, make a sentence with are. A-R-E-R.
We are in class for teaching speaking class.
We are students of spoken English communication. I'll take that. Well done. Okay, Shivam, make a sentence with has.
He has learned the art of speaking English.
He has learned the art of speaking English. Well done. Well done. Okay. Exercise 4. Pallavi, fill in the blanks with the appropriate auxiliary verb. Example is, am, are, was, were, have, has, had, will, would. Anything will do. Or maybe a word other than the words that have been given here. Sarah dash going to the store later.
Sarah will be going to the store later.
Sarah will be going to
Sarah
the...
will be going to the store later.
Well done. Well done. Perfect. Isha, they dash been best friends for years.
They had been best friends for years.
Well done. They had been best friends for years. They have been best friends for years. Both will do. Okay. Seema, I dash never been to Europe.
I have never been to Europe.
Spot on. Okay. The flowers. Okay. This is for Nitesh. The flowers dash blooming in the garden.
The flowers are blooming in the garden.
Spot on. Kirti, she dash always wanted to visit Paris.
yes, she is no. She's always wanted to visit Paris.
He has always wanted to.
She has, but always is okay.
So what? So what? So what if just 1 second, I'll have to quit the presentation and come back
She
again. Just 1 second.
always-
Getting back to the presentation. Yes, 1 second, dear. Yes. She dash always wanted to visit Paris. You don't have been over here, but you can still use has. She has always
Okay.
wanted to visit Paris. Remember, usually the rule is if you have been, then you must have, has, or had somewhere. But have, has, and had can be used even without been. Okay? Keep that in mind. Well done, Kirti. Okay, Manisha. We dash planning a picnic for this weekend.
We are planning a picnic for this weekend.
Spot on. We are planning a picnic for this weekend. Lekha. He dash just finished his homework. You are muted, dear.
He had just finished his homework.
He
Had.
has just finished his homework. Well done. Sanjay. The cake dash delicious.
The cake is delicious.
The cake is delicious is perfect. Well done. Okay. Shivam. The children dash playing in the park.
The children were playing in the park.
The children were playing in the park. The children are playing in the park. Both will do. Well done. Isha. I dash studying for the exam all day.
I have been studying for the exam all day.
Brilliant. Well done. I mean, one could make a mess of this question by using the word am. You cannot use am because all day is there. The context will have to be understood. There are no rules. You have to understand the context. You have to go by your intuition, by your gut. All right. So I have been studying for the exam all day is correct. Now the next question is a paragraph, right? And one of you will have to take it. The person I choose will be solving the paragraph today. Okay, 1 second. Exercise 5, right? Now, who will solve it? Let me say it right away so that you can make up your mind. The one who is going to solve it today is going to be Isha. Isha, I'm reading this out for you. Please follow me. Please hear me out, and then you will get time to make up your mind. Fill in the blanks with the appropriate auxiliary verb. Example is, am, are, was, were, have, has, had, will, would. All right. So, yesterday I dash excited to visit the zoo. The weather forecast said it dash going to be sunny. So I dash planning to take lots of photos. When I arrived, there dash a long line at the entrance. People dash patiently waiting to get their tickets. I dash lucky because I dash already bought mine online. Inside the zoo, I dash amazed by the variety of animals. The lions dash resting in the shade while the monkeys dash swinging from tree to tree. As I walked around, I dash thinking that this dash one of the best days I dash ever had. Take your time. Take your time. You have about 1.5 minutes. Take your time and tell me when you are ready.
Yes, sir, I'm ready.
Yes, Isha, shoot.
Yesterday, I was excited to visit the zoo. The weather forecast said it will going to be sunny, so I am planning to take lots of photos. When I arrived, there was a long line at the entrance. People were patiently waiting to get their tickets. I was lucky because I had already brought mine only. Inside the zoo, uh, I was amazed by the variety of animals. Lions are resting in the shade while monkeys are swinging from tree to tree. As I walked around, I uh, was thinking that this um, was this was one of the best day I have ever had.
Uh, well, Isha, great attempt. This was a difficult one, without a trace of doubt, a difficult one. Many of the answers are correct. Some answers are also, I mean, some of the answers which I will rather change are not incorrect, but they are probably not fitting the sense. They have to be in sync with the time. Either we have to uh, decide which auxiliary verbs we have to use in a paragraph by looking at the other words that have been used. If the other words convey past tense to us, then we have to use auxiliary verbs that are kind of past in nature, that depict past tense or things that happened in the past. If the paragraph or a sentence, whatever the case may be, gives us the feel that we are talking about the present, then we have to use auxiliary verbs that connote the present, auxiliary verbs that make us feel that it is the present that is on. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
when you say yesterday, clearly the entire paragraph will have to be in the past tense. You agree with me?
Yes, sir.
You cannot say yesterday I am excited. It makes no sense because you're talking about past tense. You cannot club past tense and present tense. So here you were correct, of course. Yesterday I was excited to visit the zoo, right? The weather
Yes, sir.
forecast said it. Here you simply say was going to be sunny. Participle, that is has, had, or have, is none of these is required. Okay. The weather forecast said it was going to be sunny. So I was planning to take lots of photos. When I arrived, there was a long line at the entrance. People were patiently waiting to get their tickets. I was lucky because I had already bought mine online. Inside the zoo, I was amazed by the variety of animals. The lions were resting in the shade while the monkeys were swinging from tree to tree. As I walked around, I was thinking that this was one of the best days I had ever had. That, to my mind, appears to be a more sensible approach, or
Yes,
maybe
sir.
a more appropriate approach to the paragraph. I'm sure you knew all this. Most of your answers were correct, but then the ones that where you change the tense were also correct. It's just that the correct tense needs to be used, right? So you have all the
Yes,
answers
sir.
over here, but it's all fine. Check up the answers, solutions later. Now, Isha, you will have to speak in your characteristic, energetic, vibrant voice what is written over here. You have to read it. Okay? I'll read it first and then you read it. You read it. Start from the beginning till end, but make it extremely energetic.
Fabulous. You have finished one half of the course. If you missed practice till this point, it is time to remember the commitment you made to yourself.
Great. So what does this mean? Today you complete half of the course. Exactly one half of the course is over. It is time for intermission. If you're watching a Hindi movie in a typical Indian theater, right? No intermission for us. We'll go on. Of course, there'll be an intermission, a typical intermission of. Luckily, you have this intermission of 2 days because we are bordering the weekend. Otherwise,
Yes, sir.
we wouldn't have talked about an intermission. But for all of you, all you wonderful friends, all you learned youngsters, please remember what you committed to yourself, right? You committed that you would be practicing regularly. if you haven't practiced thus far, or if you haven't practiced regularly thus far, make it a point that you do not miss your practice in the next 40 odd sessions that we're going to have. Today's the 40th session, by the way. So another 40 sessions to go. Thereafter, your training program will be over. The learning will not be over. The learning will continue, but the training program will be over. So please make it a point that if you have not been practicing regularly, it is time to get back into the learning rhythm and practicing rhythm. Now, I do understand that I have not been able to comment on your speeches. I've listened to many of them, but I didn't get the time to comment on them. I'll be commenting on each one of your performances. But from tomorrow, whatever you send to me, no matter, even if I have to surf through 25 or 30 odd files, doesn't make a difference. I'll comment on each. Since we have finished one half of the course, the way your learning intensity has to go up, my teaching intensity also needs to go up. Now, I'll push you further. I'll push you very hard from now on, okay? And I probably will be a little more critical of the things that you do as compared to what I have been doing thus far. So I'll be critical, and sometimes I might also say some ugly things about your performance. Do not feel bad about whatever I say, because I'll be doing all this to push you further. Of course, I know that you have to cushion up your words, your ugly words, in some beautiful ballooned kind of structures, which I'll do. But you are going to get some indirect stinkers from me. They might not sound like stinkers, but they'll be stinkers nonetheless. And these stinkers are for your benefit. Don't worry, I'll not give you stinkers. I'm joking, right? I'll be praising you, and I have all reasons to praise you, because all of you deserve to be praised. So these stinkers will only come if you do not practice. Remember, if you practice and you're making mistakes, no stinkers for you. The stinkers will come, cushioned up stinkers, if you fail practicing. The only reasons I can give you stinkers is if you do not practice. You do not practice, I'll give you stinkers. I'll give you bitter pills, right? Cushioned up by Rasgulla. But that Rasgulla will have a bitter pill inside. You won't even know. Or probably you will know because you're intelligent enough. If you mispractice, I'll give you the stinkers. If you do not mispractice, you make mistakes, no stinkers whatsoever. So don't worry. All right. With that said, now it's time for practice. Okay. So who is it going to be? The first performer for the day today is going to be probably all of you love to hear him. It's going to be Nitesh. Nitesh, roll up your sleeves, or you don't have sleeves, okay? You don't have the kind of sleeves. Oh, no sleeves. You have sleeves. Now, come on, don't say these are, you have sleeves, right?
Imaginary sleeves.
It is not a banyan, right? It's a t-shirt, right?
Yeah.
So you have sleeves. So you probably can do this. In Hindi movies, sometimes in the old Hindi movies, the hero would fold the sleeves like this. Means that he was getting ready for action, for punching. Okay. The cowboys, in the cowboy films also, you'd find people gradually rolling up the sleeves. Means that the boy or the girl who's doing it is all ready to get into action. So you will roll up your sleeves, or you'll pull up your socks. Which one do you want to do?
Maybe both.
I hope you're not going to hit me. Send me fireballs like Shivam, the fireballs that come and salute and go away. So your action should come and probably give me a friendly smile and go away, okay? Never get into action that is violent, okay? Violence is an absolute no in the spiritual world. Although I do understand that in the biological world, in this materialistic world, you have so much of violence. And nature appears to be very unjust because one being eats the other. But then, well, there are debates, there are reasons that are offered by many spiritualists. There are things that are explained in our sacred books as well. There are things that are explained in our scientific research papers. So All that are different things. Not talking about all that right now. Right now, I'm going to talk about love. Love for whom? Love for your parents? No. Love for your siblings? No. Love for your partner? No. Love for your children? No. Love for your friends? No. Love for your colleagues? No. Love for yourself. So, Nitesh, your topic for the day is, first of all, you say hello to me, Nitesh. Say hello.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Nitesh. Your topic for the day is loving oneself. Loving oneself. Loving oneself. Shoot, Nitesh.
Hello, everyone. Today's topic for spontaneous speech is loving oneself. Well, loving oneself has various aspects to how you actually uh, take care of yourself, how you actually perceive yourself. Well, to love oneself is really important because it gives you that self-respect, the ability to just know yourself, to ability to be confident in what you do. When you love yourself, when you love what you do, when you love what you what you are doing and love how you are, then you'll get a confidence. You'll find a place in your in this entire world. You'll find your position, and also loving oneself is really important for the thing that what to know what you are. The one thing that I find interesting, and well, it has been uh, taught in Indian philosophy a lot, that the question who you are has been discussed so many times, and it this is the question. I was recently reading a book. Maybe you may have read that book, or maybe have listened about that. It's one of the books that is very popular for learning the Western philosophy. The name of the book is Sophie's World. It's a kind of fictional book, but it kind of contains a gist of the Western philosophy. So in that book, that starts with the question who you are. So to learn that perspective, this question was is not new. It has been thought upon for thousands of years, and you know that India is the can be called the father of philosophy. So this question has been discussed, has been debated, and has been researched upon so for so many years. And there have been different perspectives, different ideas have been given by different thinkers, different uh, streams of studies that some, if you go through the Indian spiritual studies, when it has different parts, Buddhist philosophy is a little different from the Vedic philosophy. Well, if you go to that, from that perspective, there is a perspective of the Atman, and from the Buddhist philosophy, it's like a stream of consciousness that is flowing through every living being. So the Buddhist philosophy believes in that of collective consciousness, that kind of thing. That every when you kind of become conscious of that, you respect every living thing. It doesn't just love or respect yourself. You start respecting everything that is around you. You kind of get the feeling that you are no different from any other thing. And as such says that violence is not good, or not the thing that should be there. And in spiritual world, it's really a big no. So why does that? When you understand that what you are is not even not different from any other thing. And in Buddhist philosophy, the flow of consciousness is going through everything, even through a rock, but it's not getting its outlet to actually show that there is consciousness. But through the living things, the consciousness gets that outlet, that thing that it can actually show its light, like when consciousness can be seen as a sun, and this, the activities that you are showing is kind of that its effect, or kind of this sunlight. So when you close the sun in a closed opaque thing, light won't come, just like that. So living things work like a transparent or translucent sheet through which the consciousness flows out, and which we see the effect of the consciousness on the things. So when you perceive the idea that you are not just some single entity, and when you start loving the fact that you are a part of this entire universe, this entire consciousness, or if you call it from connected from Atman or Paramatman, you are part of that. Then you kind of get the connection that there, every other thing that is there, you should love. Just not just yourself. When you start loving whatever inside you, the consciousness, the spirit, and that soul that's inside you, you start to see that the thing, the entire world is kind of a part of the same thing, or kind of the same thing only. So this idea is really important, and this philosophy has been thought upon by Indian philosophers, by many big spiritual people, and in the Upanishads also. When you read Bhagavad Gita, it has been spoken about. So this philosophy is also there. This question is also there in Western philosophy as well, and that's one perspective of loving yourself. In general perspective, what I feel is that when you love yourself, you try to improve yourself. When you are loving, that means you want to make yourself better, and for to make you better is kind of upgrading yourself. You should try to be better every day, and for that you persevere and you work hard and try to make uh, good judgments, and try to learn new things, make yourself make learn
Shivam, your time is over. Excellent speech again. Kudos to you. Please clap for your friend Nitesh. Nitesh has this unique ability to take topics that are very material in nature to the realm of spirituality. This beautiful connection that you establish is so good to listen to. Absolutely loved your speech. Okay, now let's see what your wonderful friends have commented. All right, here we go. All right, so I see some great comments for me as well. Feel impelled to read one of them. Pallavi says to Manisha, Manisha might have, Manisha praised me when the class started. Pallavi writes, very true, Manisha. I totally agree with you that we are blessed with such an intelligent, down-to-earth and generous teacher. Two beautiful smileys. And also, you are really very amazing. I'm also learning so many things from you. Then beautiful smileys again. What she says for Manisha is correct. What she says for me is, I would say, relatively correct. That's what all of you feel. And I'm trying to graduate to that level. I'm at all times trying to be a better person. But thank you, Pallavi, for those very kind words of yours, for those very sweet words of yours. All right. Isha. Isha now writes, it's a milestone. We are on half of the course. It seems how soon days have passed. Thank you, sir, for this course and all your guidance. Thank you, Isha, for being such a wonderful, sweet soul. And to all of you, wonderful students who have continued, who have persevered till this point of time. And I hope to see you till the very end. All right. Pallavi says, right, Isha. Okay, now Kirti. Now, these comments are for our wonderful and extremely knowledgeable friend, Nitesh. Wise and bright, and what do I say? The adjectives will fall short, but but Nitesh's grace and beauty and wisdom cannot be described, right? So Kirti says, you are such an intellectual person. You have deep knowledge about different philosophies in the world. Great speech. Oh, lots of claps and lots of this for you, right? A lot of appreciation from Kirti. Manisha says, you were as usual amazing, Nitesh. And then the directorial sign. You are literally very knowledgeable and insightful, and an insightful person. It's always a pleasure to listen to you and your words. Completely agree with Manisha. That's really true. So it's always a pleasure listening to you. And a lovely smiley and claps for you. Shivam, absolutely flabbergasted. And then there are three balls of fire heading towards you, Nitesh. But don't worry, they are not going to hurt you. They are just going to give you their salutations. And then there are two beautiful, sweet smileys. And then Shivam writes, you possess the knowledge and the fluency. Using them, you always make me happy. Of course, you make everybody happy, Nitesh. You're a great soul, wonderful soul. Completely agree with Shivam. Seema says, very beautifully and deeply presented your views on this difficult topic, Nitesh. Did a very wonderful and speechless job. Lots of claps, lots of thumbs up, and then there are smileys, right? Smileys showing that, my goodness, what a brilliant speech. Um, can't imagine somebody speaking like this. Well done. All right. Isha. Isha says, as always, fantastic speech. Lots of claps, lots of thumbs up. You are a pro speaker. You always have a different perspective with deepest knowledge. Kudos to you, Nitesh. Absolutely agree with our dear friend Isha. She's spot on. Sanjay says, well done, Nitesh. You are a great, a greatly knowledgeable person. Absolutely great. And lots of claps for you. Pallavi says, very nice and amazing performance as always. Lots of this and lots of claps. As I have said earlier, you have already become a pro speaker and you can talk and give speech on any topic which is given to you because you have so much knowledge. Really amazing, Nitesh. And lots of claps for you and lots of those birthday conical caps. I don't know whether that's the right way to describe them, which have a kind of blast of colors coming out from all sides. Okay. Wonderful thing coming out from all sides. Nitesh says, thank you so much, all my awesome friends, for your kind words. But actually, I am learning a lot from Sir and all of you, my friends. I'm thankful to all of you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, Nitesh. To tell you the truth, you owe your improvement in communication skills to the practice, to the hard work that you have given in. You have another 40 odd sessions to go. So that would mean close to 3 months. So in these 3 months, make yourself more rugged, practice even more. Okay. Well done. I don't have words to describe your performance or your wisdom. You are a class apart, no doubt. All right, our next learned participant, please be with me till the very end, okay? And tomorrow's and the weekend is starting, so you shouldn't have any problems. Okay, next learned participant is going to be Isha, and we are again going to talk about love, right? We just heard about self-love. Now, the topic that Isha will be dealing with is also relates to love and a very important aspect of love. Well, attachment, to tell you the truth, but we call it love, right? Okay, so Isha, can you say hello to me, my dear?
Hello, sir.
Yes. Good to see you, Isha. Happy that you're going to speak?
This in same topic, Nitesh said so many things in different prospects. So this time I don't have an idea what to say.
I have said that you will be speaking on love. I haven't said that you will be speaking on loving oneself. I'm giving you another dimension of love to speak on. Okay? Dear Isha, your topic for the day is love for wildlife. Love for wildlife. Love for wildlife. Shoot, Isha.
So today's topic for spontaneous speech is love for wildlife. Mm, First of all, I want to explain the love. Of course, we are human beings and we are connected to each other only by love. But as our first spontaneous speech is, when you don't love yourself, how you can love with others? Uh, how you can love wildlife or animals or birds, animals? If you love yourself, if you value yourself, then you value for the wildlife. if you don't value yourself and you have no importance for yourself, then you cannot value to wildlife, because they are also living beings, and they are we are dependent on them and they are also dependent on us. Uh, it's a mutual connection between animals and human being. So it's if you love yourself, then you definitely love wild animals and all the living creature in the earth. So in today's time, humans are God give us a gift with a strong brain. That's why we are so selfish for our resources. For our self profit, we are day by day eliminating wild animals just for own profit. We never considers how it will affect our nature, and if we are eliminating these wildlife, then how it uh, depend on our what can I say? Uh, why is most important for our generation also, as like the little birds which used to came in few years ago, which used to came in our houses. It is so beneficial for us, but as like we using mobiles day by day, and this is a rays which is so harmful for the that birds, and that's the reason that birds are not visible in our culture. And that's why we are dependent on the artificial things, like why is it, in today's time we are India is a forest country. In that time we have all the resources, because we are depend on our land, and we have the plenty of the wild resources like forest, dinosaur, rhinoceros, and other types of wild animals we have. But as technology developed and our brains are also developed, we are only thinking on the like technology times, how to do 5G network, how to improve our network, and how to like explore Chandrayaan. But why people are not thinking ki how to improve our wildlife livings, and why we are not thinking to give making a more and more nest. Only few peoples, if I can say, only 2 3 peoples are thinking about the animals, and 2 3 peoples are thinking to make a nest and give him a support and feed them, and to take care of them. But mostly people are thinking on how to profit, how to make profit from them. Like many of the peoples are non-vegetarians, and they are slaughtering the fish and other types of the animals, and meat, and other they are using for this uh, animals for their own resources. But why people are not thinking, if we are doing the same things in future, then how human will survive? Because it's a mutual interaction. If we take care themselves, then they also take care of us. If we continuously on the same track and always be on the profit side, then after so many years we will be like uh, we will to have we will to beg to other country to support us, like as petroleum, as other many resources we import from other countries. But in today's time we have many of the resources, but if we never love the wildlife, if we never uh, worth the animal and living creation, then human survival will not possible with this nature. So with our profit we have to think about the wildlife and other creatures, living creatures, all the living creatures, because god give everyone's a unique like if a aunt in our house, he have a struggling aunt, also have a struggling life, they that they are a small bit of pieces collecting, like movie I so few days ago I saw a movie Avatar. There are different types of. They are also struggling for their creatures. In initial, they are living in forest, but when they came in water, and they also is struggling for their survival. So in the earth, every creature is a unique, and God give make everyone for the special purpose. If we are thinking we are the important, we are human beings and we have a great mind, so we will not survive with this.
Isha, your time is over. What a stupendous performance. My goodness.
Sir,
Fluent
I don't know
speech.
what
Best.
I said. I have no idea.
Doesn't matter. What matters is you spoke, and you spoke continuously. And I must say that what you said is also content rich, right? Spontaneous speeches will become more meaningful as you keep practicing them. Isha, wonderful job done. Isha, Isha,
Yes, sir.
you are Isha. You are Isha. Pranam to you. Okay. All right.
I am not happy with my spontaneous because I was short of ideas.
Now you are doing a Manisha. All right. Don't do a Manisha now. You made such a beautiful speech. Be happy. I'm sure each of your friends over here liked your speech. Right? Now let's see what your learned friends are saying. Isha, you did a great performance. I'm not just praising you for nothing. You really did very well. Manisha writes, Isha, you justify the meaning of your name. My goodness, I didn't know such a message is waiting for me to be read. Okay. Isha, you justify the meaning of your name every time you get a chance to perform. A beautiful smiley for you. Indeed, it was a great performance, and the way you spoke continuously for 6 minutes straight without a single pause. You are already a pro speaker. Another beautiful smiley. Totally agree with Manisha. Totally agree with her. Seema says, an excellent performance, dear Isha. So explanatory and prompt speech you have presented, Isha. Wonderful job you did. And lots of claps, lots of thumbs up, and those smileys which suggest that, oh my goodness, what a brainy stuff you did. And indeed, you did a very brainy stuff. Agree with Seema. Shivam says, you were really amazing. 3 balls of fire rushing at you, Isha. You don't have to be careful because they'll not hurt you. They're just going there to salute you and they'll get back to their places. Really impressive. Shivam further says, really impressive. It was a difficult topic, yet you did it easily. Lovely smiley thereafter. Kirti says, you are perfect in making a good chain of your meaningful sentences in the right way. Agree with her. You have already become a pro. Agree with her again. Kudos to you. You have an amazing mind. No doubt you're very intelligent, Isha. Kirti is spot on. Lots of claps and lots of thumbs up for you. Well said, Kirti, and you deserve all this praise. Pallavi says, very nice and excellent performance, dear Isha. 2 beautiful smileys. Then for this, your thoughts are really very pure and from your heart. 3 beautiful smileys. It's always a pleasure to me to listen to your speeches. Wonderful. Then 5 thumbs up, lots of claps for you. And Pallavi is spot on. You deserve every bit of this praise. All right. Sanjay says, superb performance, Isha. Good job done. Wonderful. 2 thumbs up and lots of claps for you. Nitesh says, what a wonderful performance, Isha. And then there are 2 this. It is always a pleasure to listen to your ideas and thoughts. You spoke like a pro and not so easy on not so easy a topic today. Learned through you a lot from your speech today. Thank you and keep it up. And again, a thumbs up. Nitesh is, as usual, correct. You have done a great job, Isha. Completely agree with Nitesh. Sanjay says we should all love animals. Yes, Sanjay, we should all love animals. So all of you have made some beautiful comments. And I'm truly grateful for being so knowledgeable about this sensitive issue. And I'm also very happy that you as youngsters are so much in command or so much aware of the things that you need to be aware of. Because we usually turn a blind eye to things that don't concern us directly, or which we at least think that do not concern us directly. There are things happening which are quite detrimental to our interests, but we don't seem to recognize that we are actually playing a devil against ourselves. And that's exactly what we are doing by being so harsh, so unjust to the wildlife and also to the animals. With that said, I would like to thank you all. Pallavi, thank you for taking time out today and joining us. Manisha, thank you so much for joining. Shivam, thank you for joining. Kirti, thank you for joining. Isha, thank you for joining, of course. Sanjay, thank you for joining. Seema, thank you for joining. All of you deserve to be complimented for your perseverance. Today we are finishing the half of this training course, and you have made remarkable progress, trust me. In the second half, double up your efforts. From now on, from tomorrow, you will be doing 2 spontaneous speeches a day and foreshadowing. Can you do that? Can you do that? Say yes or no. Raise your hands.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
All
Yes,
right.
sir. Yes.
Tomorrow I'll give you exercises. You get regular feedback on your speeches. From the 41st session onwards, it is my solemn duty to ensure that each one of you gets very clear inputs on your speeches. And that doesn't mean that all your hard work before this will not be considered, will not be listened to. I'll comment on them as I find time. But from tomorrow, the speeches that you send to me, whether you send them to me separately or you send them or you post them on the public forum, posting it on the public forum is courageous. And I appreciate those who are doing it. So when you put it there, I will, regardless of how you have sent it to me, I'll certainly comment. I'll certainly give you a true feedback on your performance. So with that said, all the best. Have a great weekend. And yes, remember, the next half, the remaining half of this training program is going to be pushing you to do double of what you have been doing thus far. Ready for the challenge, all of you? All right. Thank you,
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
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 Yes,
sir.
that's
sir.
what I wanted
Yes,
to
sir.
hear. A big
Yes, sir.
yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Take good care of
Thank you.
yourselves. Take good care of yourselves. And good night and happy learning. Take care. Good night.
Thank you,
Good
sir.
night,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Good
Good
night,
night,
Good
sir,
night,
sir.
sir.
and good night,
Good night.
Good
everyone.
night, sir. Good
Good
night,
night.
sir.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Good night to all of you.